what makes you guys different? Like, I guess if a client asks you that, or maybe a tech, how do you answer that question typically?
We really tried to focus on not trying to reinvent the wheel when it came to pest control. Pest control is very science-based. There's environmental factors. There's going to be a bug because of those environmental factors, and you use the best product you can to try to get rid of those bugs for as long as you can, right? So the science part of it's pretty straightforward. Where we tried to sort of apply our special sauce was building our business around the customer experience. Customers don't really ever wake up, I don't think, ever thinking about pest control. Like I'm excited to talk to my pest control technician today. And so we were top to bottom, start to finish, really obsessed with what would be a unique experience for the customer, what would bring the most peace of mind for the customer, what would be the easiest, for the customer, what would be the most thorough thing that we could do for the customer. So we just sort of beat that in our processes and just make sure everybody's thinking about the customer first. And usually when that happens, you get really good feedback from the customers, and you can sort of tweak and tune the rest of the parts of the business to sort of make sure that you're always, in tune with the right people in the right market.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Andrew Burress, who is the owner and founder of Natura Pest Control. Andrew, I think you're my first pest control guy on the show. So
Right on.
Yesterday I had my first garage door guy, my first pest control guy today. And so I am sure my ADD is going to be on high alert today because I don't know anything about pest control. So I'm excited to learn about it. Man, tell us about how you got started. How does one find themselves in pest control is my question.
Yeah, my story, I think I have a very similar story to a lot of guys. I served a mission for my church. Right out of high school, knocked doors for 2 years for free, got yelled at, screamed at, all the good stuff. Got back from that and got approached by a company to go out and sell door to door. And they were like, hey, you could make some good money doing it. You'll be knocking door to door. You're used to it, but we'll pay you this time. And so I did that in between semesters of at college for about 4 years. And so I really did love selling door-to-door pest control and just saw that it was a really good industry and decided to stick with it. So after about 4 years of knocking, I jumped over into the operations side of things. So I became a branch manager in tech, and here we are. So sort of stumbled into it, but I'm happy I'm here. It's a great industry.
Okay, so you decided to start your own thing. What is I don't know anything about the space, but I'm just curious, what all goes into starting a pest control company? Do you just have to have a good chemical supplier? What goes into that besides obviously the building the foundational elements of a company, door knocking, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's a lot like a lot of other service businesses, right? A lot of times, uh, it's you develop a skill set like sales, and
Yeah.
sales is obviously a really, really important part for any business. And so it sort of starts with the thought of, hey, I think I can do this for myself. I'm obviously clearly already able to do it for other people.
Yeah.
But starting one really is just finding the combination of why you want to do it. First of all, do you want to do
Yeah.
it? So I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time in that sort of funk of like, okay, like this is a big jump off a cliff moment. Um, but really, starting a pest control is as simple as making the decision to own a pest control company and run it. It's like any other company, you have to have the insurance, you have to have the LLC, that EIN, all that good stuff. I mean, that's normal, but I think most of what does it take to own a pest control company is what does it take to own any other company? Just you need to have some risk aversion, be willing to grind for it, and hungry for it.
Well, I mean, just looking at your site, you guys have over 5,000 Google reviews, and it looks like you're killing it. The branding's on point. It's a beautiful website. What makes you guys different? Like, I guess if a client asks you that, or maybe a tech, that you might want to hire, like how do you answer that question typically?
Yeah. So it's, we really tried to focus on not trying to reinvent the wheel when it came to pest control. Pest control is very science-based. It's, there's environmental factors. There's going to be a bug because of those environmental factors, and you use the best product you can to try to get rid of those bugs for as long as you can, right? So the science part of it's pretty straightforward. Where we tried to sort of apply our special sauce was building our business around the customer experience. Customers don't really ever wake up, I don't think, ever thinking about pest control. Like I'm excited to talk to my pest control technician today. And so we were top to bottom, start to finish, really obsessed with what would be a unique experience for the customer. What would bring the most peace of mind for the customer? What would be the easiest, for the customer? What would be the most thorough thing that we could do for the customer? So we just sort of beat that into the culture in our processes and just make sure everybody's thinking about the customer first. And usually when that happens, you get really good feedback from the customers, and you can sort of tweak and tune the rest of the parts of the business to sort of make sure that you're always, in tune with the right people in the right market.
You don't have to disclose like your P&L or anything crazy, but where are you guys at in overall sales or revenue?
Yeah. So this last year, our goal was 7 million. We fell just short, 6.9. And our goal this year is just north of 8. So we're trying to go back into some heavy growth years, and it's been a lot of fun. But we run in 3 areas. So we're Reno, Nevada, Boise, Idaho, and then also up in Tri-Cities, Washington.
Wow. And okay, what's going really well with your business right now? And what's a challenge you guys are facing?
Yeah. So challenges and going well sometimes go hand in hand. I would say what's going well is we made the investment and the commit to build a team. We ruled a lot of different seats. As owners, you wear a lot of different hats, and you can only do that for so long. And so we sort of got to this point where we felt like we'd hit a ceiling. We were hitting a little bit of burnout as the owners. And so we decided to sort of make an investment into a leadership team. So we went out and got an operations guy that's a stud, a sales director, marketing director, finance person, and helped us owners elevate into a higher seat, which was for the first time, it was amazing. But has been being able to watch others come in and be a master at their own craft, and then be able to move the needle further, farther, faster with less effort is just fun to watch. Like, a marketing person comes in who just speaks marketing, does marketing. He came in, just scorched earth the whole place down to the ground, rebuilt it up, and it's like starting to function and go well. And I'm like, holy cow, like here we were worrying about how we're going to do it instead of who can we hire to help us do it. Right. So that's what's really going well is we've invested in some who's, and the hows are going a lot better for it. Right. And I would say probably the thing that's not working is, there's a lot of industry shifts going on in pest control. I think a lot of people are trying to get into pest control through door-to-door sales. I think some companies are trying to get out of door-to-door sales. AI has sort of disrupted how traditional online marketing goes, so there's some growing pains going on with that kind of stuff. And so it feels right now not so like black and white, straightforward of like, here's our growth model. It sort of few months back felt like there was a shift back to, hey, let's make sure we're doing some good A/B testing to make sure that it's vetted and it is working before we start really doubling down and making key investments in it.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Collar Business Advisors. If you're running an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or landscaping, or any other type of home service business and wondering where all the money is going despite growing your revenue, you need to talk to Paul Maskill. Paul has scaled and sold multiple blue-collar businesses and now helps business owners improve cash flow, profitability, and financial clarity through outsourced CFO services. His clients gain a better understanding of their numbers, build predictable profits, and create a business that supports the life they actually want. One of the things I appreciate most about Paul is he's not just a finance guy. He's been in the trenches as an owner. He understands the challenges of running blue-collar businesses because he's done it himself. If you're doing a few $1 million a year in revenue and want to stop guessing at your numbers and start building real wealth, head over to bluecollaradvisors.com. That's thebluecollaradvisors.com and schedule a discovery call with Paul and his team. Blue Collar Business Advisors, helping blue-collar business owners build financially healthy companies and achieve permanent profitability. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. This episode is brought to you by Jonathan Keim and the teams at 360 Commercial Roofing and Top Roof Marketing. If you own or manage commercial property or you're a roofing contractor looking to grow, Jonathan has spent more than a decade helping businesses protect their buildings and scale through proven commercial roofing and marketing systems. His companies specialize in commercial roofing solutions, roof asset management, and marketing built specifically for the roofing industry. Whether you need a trusted commercial roofing partner or want to generate more qualified roofing leads, check out 360 Commercial Roofing or Top Roof Marketing. You can go to www.360, like 360, commercialroofing.com, and Top Roof Marketing, www.toproofmarketing.com. Now let's get into today's episode.
What is, out of curiosity, what is working for you guys? I love talking marketing. What's been the most effective place to spend your marketing dollars?
Ours has always been the reviews. Like the reviews, I think people do not value those reviews enough, like at all. Day one, we just push reviews really, really hard. We incentivize our technicians to get reviews. Anybody that comes in contact with the customer, try to get reviews. We pay our technicians for every review that they do get. That builds a ton, because if you are doing a really good marketing where it sort of piques interest and people land on your page and give you a look, that those reviews oftentimes have so much social proof and power behind it. It sort of like makes the decision for the customer. Like when we ask them like, hey, why'd you guys go with us? It's not because I don't think we're doing anything crazy unique. It's just we have 5,000 customers more that have said we do an amazing job, right? So it's like, take their word for it, not ours.
Yeah, I love that. So you guys have quite a few. Like, what's the secret sauce to getting a review besides doing an awesome job in the customer's home? Is there anything more to it that you found?
It's creating something that employees want to be a part of, right? Like your vision should be something that they feel like they can fit their vision inside of and want to be a part of. I think when you have employees that are excited about their job, excited where they work, they're treated really well, to go ask for a review or go ask them to do like an over the top and above and beyond job for the customer is more on brand, right? Like if we weren't paying our technicians top of market. We weren't giving them the tools and successful, and then ask them to go out and get reviews. There's not a lot of authority behind that. So it's the same thing with door-to-door sales, right? It's like you give the sales rep a product to go sell. You want them to be able to have confidence in what they're selling.
Yeah. Amazing. And I might have missed it in there, but what do you feel like the biggest challenges right now or barrier that you guys are trying to overcome?
So right now for us, is the marketing thing. So we got our start in door-to-door sales. We grew for a lot of years through door-to-door sales. And we've made a shift this last year of not having the main source of growth come from door-to-door, but also through digital marketing, social media, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a little bit nerve-wracking. I wouldn't say it's not working. I think it is working, but like to not see high growth, like guaranteed sales coming in, for the first time, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, right? It's a little bit like the crossing the fingers, holding your hands real tight, praying that this works. So,
yeah, I love that. Let's talk about AI for a second. How are you guys integrating it into your business?
Right now we're not trying to rush to integrate too much. I think a lot of companies are putting it in haphazardly and in the quality function of a customer. So we've used AI largely for our sales force of making sure that we have speed to lead stuff. When a customer comes in or has made the emotional decision to buy, we want to capture that. So we have AI, sort of like a question-based AI, able to get that customer, capture, maintain that interest at long enough for somebody else to get on the phone and take back over the call, or to answer all the questions that the customer might have and book them for an initial. So that's largely where we have it. The new service is coming out with like not having to describe notes, after a phone call was the very first thing of AI that we did. It saved a lot of time for our customer service reps to not have to be spending so much time off the phones. AI describes everything, puts it into the note, and we're set. So there's been a lot of really easy to see the value things. And then there's a lot of AI platforms that we're looking into that are like, it seems like a really good idea, but it's just so hard to vet it.
Yeah.
We're sort of wading into those waters slowly right now.
I love that. What's one thing we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up? You seem like you have a lot of interests. Like, is there something we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
Oh boy. I'm an eclectic personality. I like a little bit of everything. But I love helping people start businesses. I love entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship has largely, I think, really blessed me in a lot of different ways in my life of just becoming a better person, individual, higher version of myself. And I just want that for others. Right. So I'm constantly trying to convince everybody and their dog to start a business and run it. And that's usually honestly what I do a lot of my spare time, is work with friends that have their own businesses or starting, try to be successful and try to grow.
Yeah. I love that, man. And honestly, like I watch all the AI news because that's what I do. I own an AI agency. And the thought that you are going to be able to continue doing W-2 work for a long time would be, I think, the most risky place to be right now, is to be relying on a large institution or corporation to fund your life.
Yes.
You're going to need to learn how to start a business sooner rather than later. Because I think these layoffs are going to get worse and worse, man. So I think that if you don't start a business now, a side hustle, then you're going to be forced to at one point, It
is. And like, dude, every single company that we meet with, agent, AI bot, all this kind of stuff, it is absolutely amazing how fast it's changing, right? So like we saw some versions not even like a few months back that was like, this is just not there yet. And we saw another company was doing largely the same thing. And I'm like, holy crap, like that's already there, right? So it's coming at light speed. So if people actively looking into it, meeting with everybody that they can meet with, they're going to fall very far behind very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of curiosity, what is the number one pest that you guys deal with? Is it just ants, mice? What's the number one thing?
Ants is always like, how are the ants? You're almost never wrong. So we call them the big three. It's spiders, ants, and wasps. So our Tri-Cities area has a lot of water, so we deal with a lot of spiders there. But Reno's just one big anthill. and then so is Boise. I mean, it's just ants all day long. So you can't go wrong when you're locked away and doing good with the ant services.
I don't know what I did. I clicked on a couple like beekeeping people one time on Instagram and some hornet guys, and all of a sudden Instagram's like, oh, this guy's obsessed with hornets. And
Yeah.
like it was my entire but it's pretty fascinating, like the calls they get to come in and like remove these nests, and like, you know, this guy was mowing his yard and just stepped on a hornet's nest, and like the stories are pretty crazy. And then I guess I didn't realize the Africanized bees and some of the stuff that are here stateside is kind of insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of with the climate changing every year, with people being more transient, moving around, we do see that, like what we used to not ever have to deal with, we're dealing with now, and that changes every year. So it's pretty crazy. Like the stuff that we get, insects and stuff like that have always piqued my interest, and so it was really fun to be able to learn the science behind it. And it's easy to nerd out when you're reading about.
Do you go on calls anymore? I'm assuming you don't, but do you go to houses, or have you gone on any calls? Yeah.
No, it's been a couple of years that I've been out of a truck. We got to a point where anytime I was in a truck, my phone was still blowing up. I'm like, I don't think this is the right place where I should be.
Yeah.
But I do miss it. I do miss all the crazy stories, meeting the customers, chatting with them, seeing how their days and lives are going. And then, man, during the summer too, when it's just hot and active and crazy going, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, we'll keep at it, man. It's really encouraging, and thanks for being our first pest control guy on the show. If people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
So our web, naturapc.com. We're on Instagram. I'm going to be trying to be that wild guy jumping down and jumping off stuff to try to get viral and do that. But we're called Natura PC, or Natura Reno, Natura Boise. And then we also have some partners of ours that run a Natura brand in Vancouver, Washington, and people too. So we're pretty easy to find.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, man.